Hey everyone, so I thought I'd hop on. I debated whether I should do this or not, but you know what, I feel like I just need to. There's been a lot of controversy lately surrounding Disney. And I thought, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna address it. I remember seeing a few years back on social media, I'm not sure exactly which platform it was, but I saw somebody had posted something attacking classic Disney movies, and I started thinking, man, people will complain about just about anything. Come on, leave my classic Disney cartoons alone, stop it. But over the last few years, I've started thinking more and more about it and started going, and just seeing more of the stuff that's come to light, about it's conditioning kids, whether you agree with what they're conditioning kids for or not. The fact that they're conditioning kids is alarming, period. It doesn't matter. The fact that they are intentionally doing something to condition children that do not belong to them is wrong. So let's backtrack a little bit here. Okay, so I was thinking more and more about just the Disney cartoons, and I mentioned it the other day to somebody who was here, and saying, I thought it was just some of the more recent Disney movies that were alarming and following this trend of doing things that they shouldn't. But then I've become more and more aware of just how long this has been going on. I thought it was just after Walt Disney was no longer in the picture. I thought it went downhill. No, it did not. I started looking back going, okay, now I'm not saying don't watch movies you love. I'm not saying that. I'm not standing as your judge. I'm not doing that. But maybe pause and take a look back and reflect, because let's look at it. I know that a lot of the classic stuff came from other stories. I'm not, disagreeing with that. And yes, Disney changed some of them so they have happy endings, and that's great. I love Little Mermaid, but let's think about that a little bit, okay? Little Mermaid. She's 16. She's still a child. She's a teenager, right? And what does she do? She defies her father, basically, for all intents and purposes, makes a deal with the devil to entice her crush to marry her. She doesn't know him. There's no way it's love. Come on. She's looked at him from a distance. They haven't even met, but she's going to sacrifice everything so she can spend the rest of her life with somebody without, Again, I grew up loving Little Mermaid. I still love Little Mermaid. But I'm having to stop and look at it and go, Beauty and the Beast. She's got Stockholm Syndrome, and we're not going to address that? She's been taken captive, right? And now she falls in love with her captor. And we're going to spin that as something beautiful and happy. And yes, there's redeeming things. And I think I still enjoy Beauty and the Beast. I'm not saying I don't. But let's be realistic when we're viewing it, okay? Oh, okay. And, of course, we're going to be realistic with the fact that I have 3 kids, and I never have time alone. If I tried to keep the kids out of the room, Daniel would likely run out the back door. And that's not okay. So, okay. So, again, I'm not saying don't watch Disney. That's not what I'm saying. But let's be honest and genuine about it. And the fact that I was talking about this the other day, and Annika right away says, well, what's wrong with that? She's in love. And I'm going, well, right. So Annika's starting to right away defend this. And it was so much like how I had done just a few years back, defending right away Disney cartoons and the classic Disney. And I had to stop and go, wait a minute, why am I having such a strong reaction to this? Why is it so ingrained in me to defend something it's not biblical? That's what I should be just right away willing to go to bat for and have that, rise up in me, that righteous indignation. That should be for things that defend the Bible, that defend Jesus, that defend faith. That's where that's healthy for that to right away rise up, right? Not something, Disney doesn't care, nobody there knows me. They're not going to care whether I'm standing up, getting righteously indignant over their movies, right? It's not producing life. Okay, it's not life producing. It's just not. And so that's kind of where I'm going, okay. So then I'm having to stop, and we're having to explain to Annika why some of the stuff, it's not healthy, even though it's okay. You know, we'll still sit and we'll watch something. We'll still enjoy Cinderella or whatever. You know, I have a handful of those movies. But we're going to have honest dialogue about how some of it's not great. And Annika started saying, well, why then? You know, because we're going, okay, look, none of them have full families intact. It's already from the very beginning, it breaks down the family unit, so that it becomes normalized to not see a full family, a mother and a father caring for their children. We see children being raised by a single parent or no parents, and then we see them defying parents, and then they glamorize having a man kiss a woman he's never met before to wake her up because it's true love's kiss, except for it's not. Okay, I get that it's a fairy tale, and again, I'm not trying to attack. I love all these classic movies. I'm not saying I don't, but I want to do it with open eyes, right? With open dialogue, and be able to say, now we do realize, right, that's wrong, because my kids, I thought they knew. I thought we'd had all those discussions, and Annika's going, but it's true love's kiss, and we had to go, it's not though. How do you have true love's kiss when they haven't even met? No, that's true lust kiss, right? That's seeing somebody and desiring their physical body, and you're going to kiss them, and that's going to make everything okay because you're saving them, right? And again, I know that some of these things are based on other stories. I'm not saying they're not. I'm not putting all the blame, but there is a lot there that's not great. And Annika started saying, well, why would they do that? And we started going, well, and my friend pointed out, she goes, well, it's not like it was parents, all of them making that. Some of them were creepy old men that made that. So they wanted us to start normalizing. Yes, I know, Daniel. I see. You've got a guitar. Okay. They wanted to normalize for children to see for little girls to see that that's okay. And it's becoming more and more apparent when you see all the things coming out of all the arrests that have been made associated with Disney. Now, again, I love Disneyland. I used to, every year we'd go almost, and I loved it. Okay, I'm not saying I don't, but, it really brought to mind Lot, okay, in the Bible, Lot. 2 Peter 2:7 says that, righteous Lot was tormented by the things that surrounded him. Okay, so it calls Lot righteous. Let's look back in Genesis. What did Lot do? Oh, he tried to basically give his daughters to be raped. Okay, he tried to give his daughters to be raped, but that's righteous Lot. And it's because he was tormented, and just over time, the moral corruption around him just broke him down to the point where he was desensitized to it. I don't want to become desensitized to something that's wrong. I don't want my kids to become desensitized to something that's wrong. And we are all so fallible. We all can stumble. And if you think you're above it, you're not. And I'm not. I mean, you look at King David, and how did he get away? How did he get away when Saul came to his home to try and take him and kill him? Yes, Daniel, click. Okay. What do you do? Michael grabbed the household idol and put it under a cover, and it covered it up. So David, who was a man after God's own heart, had a household idol. So we're none of us are above it, right? We can all falter. We can all stumble. And I just want to have that honest discussion and look and say, hey, you know what? Some of this stuff, it's not okay. Some of these things we have been conditioned for years to accept and even defend. Oh, you're all done Raspberry Scoop. Yeah. So it's just, that's my thought there, is that, we're so used to defending something, saying, well, it's just a harmless this, it's just a harmless that. But is it though? Is it really harmless? I mean, they've come out and said, yes, this is our agenda. And, we are conditioning kids. And I'm sorry, I don't agree with my kids being conditioned or taught that something's okay, and that's not okay. Can Sissy help you? So I don't follow the news as often as I should, mostly because I'm tired. Honestly, I'm tired of it. But let's not bury our head in the sand. Let's not agree with something that the Bible says is wrong and defend it, right? Let's not defend something that's clearly against God. And there's my thoughts on that. This is not me judging anybody. This is me saying, hey, stop, maybe pray about it, think about it, and go from there. Do what God guides you to do at that point. It is not my place to be your judge. It is my place to say, this is what the Bible says is right and wrong. And judge between right and wrong is not my judge to say, what goes on between you and God. But I can say that we're going to have a whole lot more discussions here when we're watching the classic stuff. And my kids haven't been allowed to watch new Disney stuff in a long time, because there's just so much stuff in there. Even the Star Wars stuff. They own Lucasfilms now, and not gonna lie, I love my Star Wars. I do. I grew up on it. But even that, we have to have discussions about, because even that tries to teach that they're, good and evil is opposite sides of the same force, and there has to be balance. That tries to say that dark and light are equal, that there has to be balance. It's not true. God is all powerful. God is way more powerful. He is the light. The opposite of light is darkness. That's the devil. He is not equal in power or authority or anything to God. God is way far above. So anything that tries to, everybody's going to come at me and say, oh, that's fiction. I know that's fiction, but it's still, it puts that seed in there, and I'm not okay with that. I'm not going to stop watching Star Wars, but I'm going to still have those conversations with my kids too. So I hope you all have a wonderful day, and there's my thoughts on Disney.